I do want to talk about that, but real quick, I mean, Derrick, you didn't say anything during our talk about the last episode of Lost.
Nope.
Did you not feel the same way that we did?
I thought the last episode of Lost was very gay. That's all I have to say.
That's all. You have a reason?
I have plenty of reasons, but I don't know.
No, I'm curious.
I'm at the point where I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'll go into it, but I just...
Well, I'm curious what your take is, because I still have not talked to anybody. I legitimately have not talked to anybody who just didn't like the last episode. It's always I mean, I've met people who didn't like it, but it's all because, the whole show they were dead. But you know they weren't.
I feel like there were parts of that episode that were super cool, and I really think that Jack versus Locke, when they're running towards each other on the cliff, is the single greatest shot in the history of Lost.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
But as for a finale to the series, it wasn't. It was an explanation for everything that had been going on in season 6.
That's what Jonathan says.
And completely disregarded. And you've heard me say over and over that I really don't like the 6th season. So it's like, okay, well, I didn't care to begin with, and you didn't address anything that I actually cared about.
Okay.
And then on top of that, I don't know, I just didn't like it. Like a big love-in at the end.
You didn't like the direction it took. It really is, though, I'm being totally serious, it is so refreshing to hear a negative review that isn't they were dead the whole series. Like, seriously, that is the first review that I've heard. That's totally refreshing to hear.
You know what?
Because I wouldn't expect every person to like that ending. Yeah. I think that's totally reasonable for you to think that. I don't see anything wrong with that. But it's like, thank you for actually understanding they weren't dead the whole show. No,
my uncle asked, he watched the show. I didn't know he watched the show, but he asked me about whatever. And, dude, he got everything. I was so proud of my uncle. I'm like, dude, you're an older guy, but you fucking nailed everything. Way to go.
Yeah, it's funny because even my parents are pretty on top. I mean, they've always been big sci-fi fans. They're always on top of stuff. And then, they called me after the finale. Yeah, so that island really was purgatory, wasn't it? It's like, you guys too?
Yeah.
Are you I was pretty let down. Hey, mom and dad, no offense, pretty let down.
This is a disappointing family.
That's the thing I don't get is how people can misconstrue a direct statement. We were in purgatory? No.
Yeah.
We were not. This is just a place right now that you guys created, and that was it. It was like, how do you misconstrue that?
I mean, they explain it to you, but no, I don't think you're off base at all, Derrick. I can totally see that. And that kind of ending was okay with me. But like I said, when it was over, I was like, I would never expect this to win everyone over. Like,
I feel like the ending was a celebration of what Lost had become, but wasn't a very good wrap-up to the story.
Of the sum of it.
And honestly, thinking about it, and they would never do this, and a lot of people would hate it, but personally, I feel like that ending suggests that they all go to heaven in the end. When the doors,
it would suggest
doors open and it's a big white light and they all disappear. If it suggested that they all go to hell in the end, I may have loved it. Because that would have been a perfect wrap-up. It's all these flawed people, and they do a lot of fucked up shit while they're on their island. But to me, it just seemed like that finale was like, I don't know, wipe the slate clean. It's just like, we all love each other. The end.
Well, to me, I mean, I think that you don't have to take, I mean, there's definitely heaven imagery, but you don't, I mean, it doesn't say for sure. They just, what happens next? We don't know. Let's find out. And they move on. So you don't necessarily have to look at it as they all go to heaven, but that definitely is the implication. It's definitely not anything but, it looks like a positive thing. Yeah. So, and that's what somebody was just talking to me about. So, and this is a great review of the last episode, too. So they all moved on happily. Yeah. Saeed got to go with them, huh?
He did.
Yep. Okay. Saeed got to go with him. Okay. I was like, that is, okay, well.
Somebody did mention that to me, that Saeed was like a torturer before he got to the island. He killed a lot of people on and off that island.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But, I mean, he had kind of a redemption in the end, so you could argue whatever.
That's the end of the story. There's a lot of things. Like Richard Alpert is with them, even though... Isn't he with them in that church? He is.
Oh, I didn't think he was.
No,
is he not?
I don't think so.
I think it was just all the people from the original crash, right?
Yeah. The one thing that I do think is awesome, though, is the people who made it off on the plane. And I think that's cool, and I've said this before. It's really cool how in the off-world, they said, like, some of these people could have died many years after you or before you. It's timeless here. And I love that idea. Like, okay, Kate survived the island. She could have lived on 50 more years.
Oh, Kate and Sawyer go off and fuck for like 30 years.
But
obviously, but
yeah, but she misses him when it comes back. Like, it could have been 50 years without Jack. We just saw it as a minute, but you know.
The one thing I will say about the finale that I really did like, even though this is so stupid and nobody would probably ever feel like this but me, but Sawyer is the one male character from the original cast to get off the island alive.
Yeah, yeah.
Ultimate badass.
Yeah.
That is the perfect ending to this story.
Yeah. Oh, no, so lots of people were talking about that. And I don't remember who told me this, but somebody was like, that's cool how in the off-world or whatever, Miles and Sawyer are kind of a duo. And they were saying, like, maybe you know, they get off the island together, and maybe that's kind of what happens. And that's why they're really close in the off-world or whatever. Yeah. And then somebody else brought up, Miles got Nikki and Paulo's diamonds. They're set.
Oh fuck!
Yeah. They got $8 million now. But then I was thinking about it more, and I was like, yeah, but how are they explaining the stolen plane? And like, when they get off, they probably all went to jail. But
I think they'd say our plane crashed and
their clothes are covered in blood.
They're all like,
and all torn up. What happened? You're not gonna believe me.
Yo, crazy. Southwest is like just not as good as it used to be.
Look, we were all potential candidates.
Some guy touched us and we real special.
We drank the water. We protected the light.
Yeah.
That's right. That really is funny that Sawyer is the one guy who make it off. Because remember in the first episode of the first season, it's like, kill that fucker.
Yeah, it was like,
fuck that guy, and that was the one guy.
A lot of people were thinking he's gonna die.
Oh, yeah. He was my favorite character from the beginning.
Really?
I love him.
But there was a lot of distaste for him in the beginning, generally, and it's interesting that
it
that's
took, I think, halfway through season 1 for me to start liking him.
Yeah.
But then they did that switch around on you when he took all the guns back, and you're like, oh, that fucking bastard.
Yeah.
Like, go back and watch it now, and you're like, fucking good, because everybody was bitching about shit, and he was always the guy who was like, hey, we need to survive. Like, you guys are being dumb. What are you doing? We have to survive.
Yeah, well, how I feel about it is, it's funny. When The Sopranos was over, there was all this talk, is there going to be a movie? Is there going to be a movie? And it is like, no, I don't think there will ever be a movie. And it wouldn't work, and this and that and whatever. It was like, there's no whatever. But it's like, all the creators are saying, no, there's not going to be a Lost movie. There's not going to be, I don't buy that. I think I don't even know if there will be a movie, but this is a story that still has so much in it that people want to know about, that it's like, it's easy to sign papers in 10 years, you know?
Who were shooting at them when they were on the boat? That could be the whole movie.
You know what's funny is they actually talked about that in an interview. There was an interview with them like, okay, there's 2 episodes left, and in season 5, they were shot at when they warped.
Yeah.
And they shot somebody, and that was it. Are we going to see that? We got 2 episodes left. And they said, we're telling you flat out, that's not happening. And they're like, that seems like shitty planning. And they're like, what it turned in, and they said, oh no, we fully apologize, and we knew who they shot. So it's not just like, oh, we'll figure that out later. We'll tell you when the show's over who that was going to be. Oh. But they said it turned into, season 6 became so fucking annoying to write for, because every episode, we're in a writer's room of 10 people, and every week it was, and then we'll put them in the boat, and then in this scene they should get in the boat. They said it was like after 10 episodes of that, it became, how do we shuffle these guys around to get them in a boat? That we were like, look, this is over in 2 episodes. Like, fuck the boat. Yeah. Like, can we not? So they said, like, we definitely knew who in mind. Like, there was somebody who was going to die as a result of that. Yeah. But it just didn't work. It just. Did they ever say who? They said it was getting hokier and hokier getting them into that spot. But no, they haven't said yet. I mean, they've been gone, you know. But they'll say it when they come back or whatever. But anyway, so whatever. Yeah.
There it is.
A bold ending. Definitely. I don't know what you guys thought. Tell me, you know what? Email us. We haven't had an email subject in a while. What do you think of the Lost ending? Podcast@mega64.com.
Let's keep it short, because I can see we can get like 84-page emails. I don't want that.
Give me it just bare. You know, much like we did by talking about it for half an hour. So, but anyway.